Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. We're taking a look back 2021. We're catching up with some of our clubs as we now flight the 52nd episode of season 11. 11 years of Cape Rugby TV, but focusing on our clubs. One of the clubs, of course, that stayed active during 2021 and, of course, still the reigning club rugby champions, if I have it correct, is Durbanville. Jason Hector is assistant coach at Durbanville. Jason, welcome to Cape Rugby TV, Mania.
Hey, JP, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
Did I get that right? You're still the reigning club rugby champions.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably have to claim that one, seeing that there's not been any league.
Yeah, you haven't. The last league championships was in 2019, and of course, Durbanville walked away with the title at Newlands on the day. So, a classic title to be holding. Jason, how have you found the year? Very stop-start, though. Difficult for any coach.
Yeah, it's been frustrating, JP, especially when we try and plan and string things together and build towards something, and then obviously with COVID having to interrupt it and then having to restart everything all over again. So that was quite frustrating, but I mean, the boys pushed through as well and committed to the end. So yeah, lots of great shiftings from the Derby's boys.
Of course, there was a time for you guys that it was almost on. The games were almost about to start. How was that for you guys from a coaching perspective? A lot of quick planning, trying to get things ready, trying to get things in shape, I would imagine, with an intention to play, and then, of course, unfortunately not happening.
Yeah, it was quite difficult. Like I said earlier, it was quite frustrating. I think we played four pre-season matches, 1 week out, 1 or 2 weeks out from the league actually kicking off. So the players were quite disappointed. Luckily, the guys kept training, stuck to the S&C program and the planning. Obviously, we've got a great background staff as well, helping Warren to make sure that the players are still on track with their fitness and their conditioning stats. So that's been good so far.
How did you adjust from a coaching point of view? How did you have to adjust the type of thinking that you have to do as a coach? I mean, the calendar itself was completely different. Normally you start around January, and your biggest problem is whether or not the players had too many Christmas puddings. But yes, you had that problem this year. But of course, then after that, the other problems also start in terms of conditioning and strength and skills.
Yeah, so from a planning perspective, I mean, we try to stick to the 8-week regimen. So the most recent one was, I think we pushed it up to 9 weeks. Before that, we also managed to hit the full 8-week cycle. Fortunately, our guys have been in the gym as well as a unit. So that made things a lot easier for us on the field, where we started introducing things like wrestling, get up, go forward, contact, get down, get up. So that's been pretty good. The players also enjoy that instead of just running up and down on the rugby field. So yeah, that was good. And our cycle, and then obviously the coaches all had their hand in reaching out to players daily. Just chatting with them on a daily basis to keep that interest there, make sure they were right mentally, and that kind of brought the players forward to training as well.
Is that do you think that's a new dynamic in coaching from a management point of view, is the outreach to players?
No, JP, I think the one-on-one and the mentorship side of coaching has always been there all the years. I think the only thing that's changed now is the technology and how we go about doing it. In the past, we would go and drink a coffee with the player, and now it's via Zoom or Teams or WhatsApp calls. So it's just the method that's changed, really.
Did you find that there was an increase in activity because, like you said, the technology has changed, which meant that it was so much easier in some cases to make contact? You could literally have a online chat session every night if you wanted to.
Yeah, it definitely was a lot easier. Although I must say, I think a lot of our players were starting to get tired of the constant Zoom meetings and WhatsApp calls. I mean, that's what they do all day at work nowadays as well. So eventually your patience does with them with internet and internet timeouts and connectivity and network issues. So.
As a coach, though, I mean, there is also the room to say that's not always as effective as you would like it to be, because you've got a player on the other side of a Zoom session sitting in his pajamas having a cup of coffee but watching Netflix on the side.
Yeah, so from a coaching perspective, we always want that in-person connection and contact, where we can actually physically see the player, read the body language, have a chat with them. From a player's perspective, I think our S&C staff did very well in terms of monitoring the players. So tracking the RPEs, tracking the training loads, just reaching out, asking the right questions about their body to see how they respond. And that gave our S&C staff a very good idea of what was going on with the player.
Of course, the Sevens came along, SCORE Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. That gave the players an opportunity to put their hand up and say, well, we didn't have 15s, but Sevens is here now. Let's throw our weight behind that. Was there maybe an uptake in the spirit, something more exciting, something exciting for the guys to get their teeth stuck into?
Yeah, definitely. The sevens did generate a lot of interest from the club. As a result, or something that was to be found surprising, was this latest cycle preseason. We had a larger uptake of forwards on the field, whereas the backs were all out training sevens, the backs and the loosies. So that was good fun, and obviously Andries with the sevens made it more extremely fun for the boys and kept everyone involved by sending them to different tournaments across the province. So yeah, it was good for us also to work with the forwards and get them on a level where we know they can keep up with the backs in terms of what we want to do next year.
What's up for 2022? Taking a bit of a break now. Let the players relax a little bit. We've already got some clubs saying that 2022 is going to be their biggest season ever. Have you got any ideas on your side?
Yeah, look, a lot of the clubs there is rumours amongst the clubs, and a lot of clubs are preparing for a big 2022. Yeah, the derbies, I think we'll just see what we do on the field and then get the job done.
Well, Jason, we'll leave it at that, and we'll say to you guys, stay safe over the festive season. Thanks for staying involved in the game under these very difficult conditions. We know how tough it has been for you guys as players, as coaches, to keep everybody connected, to keep everybody motivated, and simply just keep the players coming back to the field. And of course, we know that Durbanville will be absolutely screaming to defend their title, as they are still the reigning champions.
Yeah, thanks, Jake. I really appreciate it. And same to you. Stay safe over the festive season.
Thanks, Jason. Jason Hector, of course, Sevens coach at Durbanville. Assistant coach at Easter. We're looking forward to seeing what's going to happen at Durbanville next year, I'm sure, as everybody else is also. But yes, we wrap up the year, and we'll of course catch up with the coaches and captains early in January. Right, folks. Well, of course, as you know, on a weekly basis, you can win yourself a case of SCORE energy drinks. Of course, SCORE's, on board with Western Province Rugby and the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. Now, if you want to win a case of SCORE, then all you need to do is go to our Facebook page and enter our weekly competition, where we give you an opportunity on a weekly basis to win, at least to spot the logo. Every week we change the logo a little bit. Of course, this week we asked you to identify the logo. It was in fact the Paarl Rugby Club. Made a few changes to see if you could get it right. This was on our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Congratulations, Henny Dirkse. Henny, you spotted the logo, identified it correctly, and you are this week's winner. And we'll be reaching out to you on Facebook Messenger. You can see the SCORE logo behind me there. And you'll win yourself a case of SCORE energy drinks, as well as a set of masks, courtesy of CTC Sports. Henny, we will be in touch with you. Remember, folks, you can find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. You can also put yourself in the mix to win that case of SCORE. Folks, we'll take a break. When we come back from the break, carry on taking a look at what's happening with all the club rugby. Back in a sec.